Welcome back to the channel. My name's Ads. In this video we're going to do a fair bit actually. I've got loads going on. I'm going to be doing this, there's a section coming up about the costings of the van, how much it cost me and how I budgeted for it and all of that kind of stuff. So stick around for that because I think you'll be quite surprised. I've also got a tiny bit of information or a bit of advice that I'd like to give about finance if that's the road you're going down. Not a great deal of advice, but one thing that I've learned and I'm hoping everybody else can swerve and avoid because it was quite a big deal. So stick around for that. And I'm headed now to go and see another... Well, I won't tell you. Just stick around. We're going to go and do something else now. Have a look at this little intro I made while I go and get Jet's car. Long story, I'll fill you in.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live.
That was alright, wasn't it? As you can probably tell, I've got the drone working, and yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna be squeezing bits of drone footage in wherever I can now. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, I digress. We're gonna be discussing a few things in this video. First of all, we're gonna head over to my friend Matt's house, and we're gonna just run you through something that we've been doing as a bit of a hush-hush mission. There's no reason for it to be hush-hush. For some reason, we just haven't recorded it or told anybody. As you can probably tell, I'm not in the van. The reason I'm not in the van is my fault. Massively ballsed up. I got timings wrong and dates wrong with MOTs and insurance, and actually renewed my insurance for the end of the week when it actually ran out at the start of the week, and completely forgot that my MOT was even due. So the van's parked up for a couple of days, but that isn't going to stop me. I've got some stuff to do. One of those things I'm on my way to do now, so hang around for 2 minutes and I will show you exactly what that is. I'm quite excited about it. My mate Matt's quite excited about it. So yeah, come and have a look. Now, I've known Matt for a few years now, and he's one of those types of friends that will just drop in out of the blue and go, I've got a plan. He literally sent me some pictures and said, I found this on Marketplace. Do you think we could turn it into a camper van? I said, yeah, of course we can. He said, do you think we could do it in 2 weeks? I really want to go away for Easter. I think we all need a friend like Matt. And this is how we got on anyway. There she is. Let's get have a proper look. So it took me over a year to do my van. It's taken us about 2 weeks to do this one because Matt's got a much higher work output than me. Matt just went, well, we'll drill a hole there. We'll just cut a hole there. And it all worked. I wish I'd had the same sort of attitude, the same ethos. Matt done pretty much 98% of the woodwork, and I did the electrics. Which, well, there you go. Still got some more bits and pieces to go in, but he wants to take it out at the end of the week, but I just thought I'd show you. There's so much space in here. It's unreal. Caravan window. I was in 2 minds about keeping the lift on. I said, nah, get rid of it, too much weight, but this is a removals van. It must be able to carry more weight than what there is in wood in the back of here now. We're going to get it weighed at some point anyway, but yeah, just thought I'd show you. This is what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I wish I'd made more video of us doing this. It's been a lot of fun actually. It's been good hanging out with Matt doing this. Hopefully we'll be able to see a bit more progress with it. He's going to have a shower room in here and a toilet and all sorts of bits and pieces. But so this is what we've been doing. I just wanted to come and show you this and pick up a few bits and pieces, and now I've got to head to somewhere else. So let's go and do that. So I'm back at Margate Farm. I'm going to go doing a little bit of messing around with the drone. While I do that, I recorded some footage a couple of days ago when the van was still on the road, and it was all about how much the van cost me to put together and all of that kind of stuff. Stick around to the end of that bit of video because I think the final figure will surprise you. It surprised me. But yeah, go and have a look at that. Cheers! This is Blister. This is a 2014 Mark 8 extra long wheelbase Ford Transit 350. It's a big old van. It had no windows on the side, we'll talk about that in a second. It had a single leaf spring, that needed replacing. The back doors were absolutely hanging. They were terrible. The tops of them were made of filler, they were rubbish. You shook the door, the whole top wobbled. Again, needed replacing. When I talk about the costings of the van, I'm not going to mention any of those things because you'll probably buy a van that's fully functional. if you're thinking of getting finance on a van, always think whether or not you could save that money up in a year rather than spending it on finance. First of all, go down that road. If you can buy the van outright, it's going to be a lot better for you. But if you do have to go down the route of finance, which I did, I fell into I want to call it a trap. I found an extra long wheelbase Ford Transit van. It had to be under a certain age and under a certain mileage. I managed to find one. It was up by London, and I discussed it with the finance broker that was helping me out. The finance company was dealing with the dealership. As the week of the van being delivered rolled on into another week and rolled on, the finance company said, if you haven't received this van by Wednesday, we want to cancel the agreement. And I said, okay, yeah, no worries. That seems a bit sensible because this van seems to be throwing up issue after issue after issue. Which they did. They cancelled the agreement. Find another van and we'll sort something out with that. So I did that. Hunted around, found this van in Bolton, only to find that the finance agreement now was, I think it was about 38% more than the original agreement. Purely because I now had a failed finance agreement against my name. Which I wasn't aware was my fault. But technically it is my fault because I agreed to the finance deal without seeing the van, without touching the van, without going near the van. I think they preyed on my ignorance there. So my advice about finance is make sure you finance it from a local company. Try and find one a little bit closer that you can go and see, that you can be around, that you can have a look underneath. Do all of those things because I don't want to say I got stung on this van. The amount that I'm paying on the finance, I should have had a much better van. Let's put it that way. But yeah, that's finance. Don't get stung like I got stung. But that said, when it came to ripping the van out to start with, ripped it all out, the first thing I did was put windows in. These side windows, I'll show you. These side windows, oh, it's pointed at me. So I put 2 side windows in, as you can see. I didn't know if I was going to go with 2 to start with, but to be completely honest, I got a good deal on them with a company called Van Pimps. Van Pimps do a package deal for the 2. I think it was about 370 quid, but I'll put a link to that in the description as well. One of the bonuses of having a window in the side of the van, the sliding door, is when you're actually pulling out, as you can see, you've got a good field of view of a field. But yeah, so definitely worth getting side windows, I would say, for my opinion. And the privacy glass, if like me, you like having a cup of coffee some days, just chilling out, watching the world go by without anybody watching you, this privacy glass is fantastic. You can see straight out, you can barely see straight in. So yeah, definitely worth checking that. So that was one of the first things I did, was to put windows in. One of the things I didn't do was plan. Massively plan everything you want to do. You'll definitely save money. This build would have cost me possibly £200 to £300 less had I planned everything. I had to take stuff out, move stuff around, put extra wood in. That was definitely a pain in the arse. So the next thing I want to talk about, Max Air Fan. Some people swear by them. Other people say that there are better things on the market or cheaper things on the market. It cost a fair crack of money, to be honest with you. It was about 370 quid. But I'm glad I bought it. I don't regret it at all. It's got all the functions. You can check that all out yourself. There's, again, link in the description. But the Max Air Fan, is it necessary? Not really. Not really. I'm helping a friend with the van at the moment who's bought one half the price. It does pretty much the same thing. But that's completely up to you. But for me, Max Air Fan, 100%. Glad I bought it. Don't regret it at all. So that's going on the list. So then it came to insulation and wood and things like that. Now, I've worked out that because I was managing to find good deals on insulation, I've used insulation board on the ceiling and on the floor. It cost me around about 140 quid for insulation for those bits, and then it cost me about 70 quid for the recycled glass bottle stuff everywhere else. I'll put links to the description in the description. I think it was 70. I might be wrong. If it's wrong, it'll probably be flashing up here somewhere when I figured out that it was actually more than that. I thought there was a car coming. I'm actually parked in someone's gateway, so they'll probably come and move me on in a minute. So that was insulation. I'm just going to refer to my notes. I don't normally take notes, but for panelling and things like that, to tongue and groove the ceiling cost me 18 times 4, so about 80 quid. So to tongue and groove the ceiling, and for all of the woodwork and the panelling and all of the bits and pieces that you can see and everything else, the timber cost about £100 and the plywood cost about £100. So about £200 in wood. Right, so the bed. Where the sleeping happens. The slats the mattress and the timber for the bed. Mattress, £85 from IKEA because it was damaged. The slats, again, IKEA, 15 quid. I bought the little plastic pockets that they slide into. I bought them online. They were about 8 quid. So the bed cost me about £100, including the mattress. Again, the timber around it, probably another 20 quid. So you got a whole bed for about 120 quid, including the mattress. So that was a bit of a bargain. So the way that I was able to pay for the van was, instead of paying rent every month, I put the money towards different bits on the van. So one month I would buy the Max Air fan, for instance, and the next month I would buy the inverter or another part of the electrical system. And that was how I got past everything. And I also, in order to keep the budget down, I did a lot of shopping on Marketplace for bits of wood or for some insulation boards and things like that. So if you're willing to make compromises, you can also save money on your van build. And one of the compromises I made was on doors. I found these on Marketplace and they were cheap, £5 each. Went to IKEA to try to find matching doors. As you can see, definitely not matching. Now the reason for that is when I found the matching doors, it would have cost me well over £100. When I got to the end bit of IKEA, if you've ever been there, they have a sort of reclamation, I suppose it's called, but there was a big rack. These doors were all in there and they were £1 each. So I didn't mind the fact that they don't match, because I saved a hell of a lot of, like a massive amount of money. £8 for doors. So in total, for the top lockers and the bottom locker doors, cost me 15 plus 8, 23 quid for doors. That's not bad, is it? That's a good compromise I was willing to make. So yeah. Now, one of the things that I think trips people up when it comes to converting a van is the electrical system, because most people don't really have a clue what it is they're doing, and I was no exception to that. No idea whatsoever about the electrics. And this is one of those prime examples of where your budget really decides what avenue to go down. So on the subject of electrics, let's head round the back. I was worried about the electrics. It was something that concerned me greatly. I wasn't overly confident that I was going to be able to do the electrics safely. So I did it in stages. But when you break it down into manageable chunks, it's actually a lot easier to get your head around. So what I did first, as I said, was I fitted the 12-volt system, which is the switch panels in the van wired to the fuse box in the back, through the breaker to the batteries. That was very simple. One of the best resources for this I found was a guy called Greg Virgo, which you probably already all know about. He put some very comprehensive wiring guides together. The second thing that I put in was the 240 system, and the 240 system, I don't really use it that often, but most people call it shore power. You get your port on the side of the van, it comes through into this trip switch box. That then has a wire that goes out to a 240 plug out there and a 240 plug in here. So when I'm plugged in, this becomes active, the two in the van become active, and this plug goes through the back here and out here and fires that up. And then that has some wires here that go down to the battery there and charge the battery. This is a battery charger, by the way, just so you know. So when I'm plugged into the 240 volt, my batteries are automatically charging off the mains. Perfect. That wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be either. And the last system that I put in was the solar system, solar panel system. So the solar panel feeds down through this trip switch into the bottom here, through there, fires that up, and then again charges my batteries. So I managed to cover all bases when it comes to my electrical system, and I did it in chunks. It made it a hell of a lot easier. And now I'm going to talk about how much it cost. First of all, we'll talk batteries, because they're the centre of everything. I made the mistake of going to Halfords. I bought one battery for 120, went back to get another one. It'd gone up to 200 to 160, so it's £280 for my batteries. They're actually more than that now, so don't go to Halfords. You can find the same batteries. They're just AGM, Yuasa AGM batteries. Obviously not the best, but budget-wise, they suited me, so they were great. So batteries, 280. The 12-volt system, 150 quid. The electrical hookup system, 70 quid. And then the solar panel system, I've got 375 watts of solar on the roof. The kit came with an MPPT charger, all the wiring, the fuses, the lot, 370 quid. The solar system, everything added together, cost me around about £1,200 for all of my electrics. That's including batteries. So as far as budget goes, I think that's pretty cool. What I didn't talk about was a diesel heater. Diesel heaters at the moment, the reason I didn't mention that is because at the moment they're about 65 quid and I paid 120 for mine. So I'm just going to tell you everything that I spent. So full disclosure, the total that I'd already came to before I started filming this, when I was adding everything up on my phone, was already an impressive amount to me. Obviously I've added a couple of things and there's been some things that I didn't think of, like the inverter. They didn't go on my list, so I'm not going to give you a price verbally. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is roughly how much it cost me to build my van. Now I know that I've only added a couple of things on, so I know that that figure is still way below what you would imagine it to cost to fully convert a van to a livable standard. I want to reiterate, it's not professionally finished. It's not done to a high specification. But the bonuses of all of this is it's fully upgradable. So all I need to do is take units out and replace them with better units if necessary. Take the batteries out and replace them with better batteries if necessary. I don't have to do that at the moment because it serves every purpose for me. On that note, I hope it was interesting. I hope that somebody found some sort of entertainment value in it, or somebody's got some sort of takeaway from it. And I've enjoyed this one actually. Right, well I hope you was as impressed as I was. Thanks for watching this video. I massively appreciate every single one of you. Like and subscribe if you want. If you don't, well, I don't see why you wouldn't, but it's up to you. You do what you like. I'll see you in the next video. Love you lots, bye.